Picture this. You're dropped into the wilderness with nothing but your instincts. No food, no shelter, no help, just you, the elements, and a landscape alive with unseen dangers. The wind is biting, the nights are cold, and the terrain is unforgiving. How long could you survive? Hunger gnaws at you, exhaustion weighs on every limb, and the mental strain of being completely alone becomes overwhelming. Water isn't just a convenience, it's a lifeline. How would you find it? Food becomes a daily question. What's safe to eat, and what could kill you? Every rustle in the bushes, every shadow between the trees could be a predator. How would you protect yourselves from bears, mountain lions, or venomous snakes? Your mind starts to play tricks on you. Hours stretch into days. Desperation becomes a constant companion. You have to make impossible decisions just to keep going. Would you have the skills, the patience, and the sheer determination to survive? Shows like Naked and Afraid or Alone give us a taste of the struggle, but the real wilderness doesn't cut you any slack. In today's episode, we're exploring one of the most incredible survival stories from the early days of Yellowstone National Park. Before we dive in, though, we want you to ask yourself, if it were you out there, alone in the wild, how long could you last? And what would it take to survive? Welcome to National Park After Dark.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to National Park After Dark. I'm Danielle.
I'm Cassie.
And my answer is not long.
Same. Count me out. If I'm missing for like 5 days, just assume
The worst.
Just assume the worst. Send in the cadaver dogs. I'm gone. I'm in a better place.
I think it's entirely dependent on where, of course. And Alone is one of my favorite. I haven't really gotten into Naked and Afraid too much because I feel like Alone is just a little bit more genuine.
I agree.
Not to take away from the Naked and Afraid experience, because that also does not look easy. But I mean, with Alone, you truly are out there by yourself.
Well, and Alone is a little different because Alone, they actually have survivalists on the show who have to go into these Arctic landscapes to survive through winter. And Naked and Afraid, it's not that it's difficult, but a lot of these people aren't trained in this.
Or they're just some sort of like outdoor enthusiast that on the side will do survivalist training or this or that, but they're not, they don't live
a lot of military backgrounds too.
Yeah. I could not, I mean, the naked twist is definitely adds to it for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Not long. Especially the bugs would get me, I think, because they're just so frustrating. And when I get frustrated, I can't focus on anything else. And that's a big player. I just saw on the news that Iceland has
3 mosquitoes.
Nowhere safe except for Antarctica.
Nowhere is safe. Yeah.
That's the last place.
That's why I love it so much.
Yeah, no mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Well, you can't move there because our business would fail. So
I don't know where I would live also.
There's plenty of bases down there. You can figure it out.
Yeah.
The Wi-Fi sucks though, and I need a business partner. So
be like, sorry, everyone. Listen to Danielle alone for the next 6 months. I'll be back in the winter.
Well, so we're going to Yellowstone today for your story. Lovely.
Sure are.
My favorite place, favorite park ever.
Yes, I know. And I think that this story is really fun. I'll get into it more, but we're diving into Yellowstone before it was a national park. And we're kind of doing my bread and butter today, which we're telling a survival story, which I always love to do. So I'm excited for this one.
Okay.
Well, let's dive into it. Do you ever think about how natural wonders in national parks get their names? Maybe you're driving through Lassen Volcanic National Park when you see a sign for Bumpus Hell Trail and ask yourself, Bumpus Hell, how did that happen? Well, sometimes these places of grandeur are named after indigenous people who lived on the land for thousands of years. Sometimes they're named after the people who displaced said indigenous people. And sometimes they're named after a guy who got so spectacularly lost, his rescue became the stuff of legend. Imagine you're 54 years old, you can barely see without your glasses, and you've just gotten separated from your expedition party in what will later become America's first national park. You have no food, no supplies, and winter is coming fast in the Rocky Mountain wilderness. And of course, I must mention that the wilderness is filled with grizzlies, mud pots, mountain lions, boiling springs, and geysers that could literally cook you alive.
It feels like a video game. It's like when you're just dropped and you're just like, good luck. There's
Good
all
luck.
These obstacles. Yeah.
Except you don't get 3 lives and can collect stars to re-up your lives or whatever.
Oh, yeah, when you get like boosted or whatever. I don't know anything about video games. I shouldn't have even drawn that analogy.
For some reason, when you said it's like video games, I immediately pictured Spyro from PS1.
I don't even know what that is.
Really? I don't consider myself someone who knows video games really well, but Spyro was like, it's like Spyro, the Lion King game, Crash Bandicoot, Nintendo, like none?
Banjo-Kazooie? Do you remember that one?
Kind of. Vaguely.
That was my thing. That was my one game. I'm like, I'm going to master this.
Mine was Crash Team Racing.
That tracks so much.
It was my favorite.
I did go to trivia the other night and I learned something about video games. I'll give you the fun fact in case you ever need it in life. The first appearance of Mario in a video game was in Donkey Kong.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So the more you know.
The only video game that Banjo-Kazooie was my thing and whatever, and I'm so happy because this proves I've been doing something right in life. So many people have sent me the ad for the new Titanic game that's coming out in January or February.
I didn't even know that was happening.
Oh, I got to learn how to play PS whatever
5?
it is.
Or 6?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm still on PS2.
I need to learn whatever it is going to be, whatever console it's going to be on. And I need access to someone with that console because I'm not going to buy it. But yeah, the new Titanic game is coming out and it looks so fun. So,
what do you do? Try and
survive the sinking of the Titanic.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
we should do an Outsiders live stream of you playing the Titanic game trying to survive.
Oh my God. No. You know those those videos of a couple playing a video game or something and the girl just has a gun and she's just pointing it in the air in circles and running into walls.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants me to see me do that for an hour. So
I don't know. You guys tell us.
Yeah, you tell us.
I kind of want to see it personally.
Okay. Anyway, let's go back to Yellowstone.
Anyway, going back into Yellowstone because I think it's definitely a favorite here, and I think maybe it's one of the most well-covered episodes parks we've done since we started this.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Well, I'm not going to get super into the park because we have talked about it so many times. But for this story, Yellowstone wasn't even officially a park when our story subject, Truman Everts, hit the trail. In 1870, the northwestern corner of the newly formed Wyoming Territory was a blank stretch on the map of the continental United States. For thousands of years, this land had become home to numerous indigenous nations. People from at least 26 different tribes lived off the land, but in 1870, few white people had ever seen the geysers and hot springs that defined the region. Mountain men and trappers who passed through spun fantastical tales about boiling lakes, spitting geysers, and petrified forests, stories that were largely dismissed back east. Imagine going out west in this time and coming back home and be like, you never believe it. There's geysers, there's these huge trees, there's mountains that are higher than anything I've ever seen. And everyone's like, that's not true.
Yeah. It's like,
that can't be true.
Can't possibly be right.
It's like, no, it looks like this.
Yeah, it's a fun time to imagine being in when there's still mystery in the world and not images of every little corner of it easily accessible, which is nice, but also mystery is fun.
Yeah, I like to not look up pictures of places that I'm visiting, too many, so I'm at least a little bit surprised.
Yeah, I did that with one of our trips, I think. I looked at the itinerary once, and then a year and a half later when the trip came around, I'm like, I've done no investigation into this location at all, and I have no idea what to expect.
Like, surprise.
Okay, I just tell me what plane to be on and I'll be there.
When we went to Antarctica, of course I've seen lots of videos and stuff of Antarctica and things, but when I saw the route that the ship was doing, I intentionally did not research the locations of Antarctica we were going, because I wanted it to truly be, when we pulled in, to be the first time I had ever seen any of these places.
Yeah.
And it totally was worth it. But anyway, all these people are going and no one believes them that this exists. As the United States neared its centennial, the Mountain West remained sparsely populated by colonists and shrouded in mystery. Montana wouldn't become a state for another 19 years, and Wyoming had only become a territory 2 years prior. Montana State University historian Kim Allen Scott, an expert on the Washburn Expedition, put it this way: everyone knew there was something weird in the Northern Rockies, but nobody really knew what was in those particular mountains. It lent a mystique to it. That mystique is still alive today. Yellowstone National Park covers a staggering 3,472 square miles, an area about the size of Puerto Rico. It's a region of incredible beauty and danger. The park sits atop a supervolcano, which fuels more than 10,000 hydrothermal features like geysers, hot springs, mud pots, and fumaroles. Some of these can reach temperatures hot enough to cook a person alive. And that's before we even get to the wildlife. The park is home to bison, cougars, rattlesnakes, and the highest concentration of grizzly bears in the lower 48 states. It's a place where the wild is truly wild, a landscape that demands respect and caution. It was into this untamed wilderness that our protagonist, Truman C. Everts, ventured. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. As the days get shorter and darkness rolls in a little earlier each night, this season can feel tough. November has a way of making us hunker down and lose touch without even realizing it. But sometimes, all it takes is one small moment to feel connected again. Maybe that means calling your grandma to hear her laugh, writing a letter to your friend that you miss, or grabbing coffee with someone you've been meaning to catch up with. Every time I reach out to someone I care about, I'm reminded how good it feels to reconnect, and I always think, why didn't I do this sooner? Therapy can feel the same way. Taking that first step might feel intimidating, but having support makes a difference. We are healthier when we have community and when we have someone to talk to. BetterHelp can help you get started. Their therapists are fully licensed in the United States, and with over 300,000 therapists available, they've helped more than 5 million people globally. They do the initial match working for you, and if the first match isn't quite right, you can switch anytime and keep working toward the support you deserve. This month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/NPAD. That's betterhelp.com/NPAD. Everts was born around 1816. He was tall, thin, and so nearsighted that he was essentially legally blind without his glasses. A career government bureaucrat, Everts was no rugged outdoorsman. He spent the Civil War tending to wounded Union soldiers and was later appointed by President Abraham Lincoln as the first federal tax assessor for the Montana Territory, a position he held for years in Helena. But by the summer of 1870, the administration wanted its own man in the job, and Everts, a middle-aged widower, was unemployed. Enamored with the idea of exploring the unknown alongside Montana's leading citizens, he enthusiastically signed on for what was to be, in the words of historian Lee Whittlesey, a sort of between jobs vacation for him.
Oh, Whittlesey. In Whittlesey we trust.
We do. It's fun to see him in history because, of course, we know his book, Death in Yellowstone.
I want a prayer candle with Lee H. Whittlesey on it, please. Somebody who's crafty and can do that. Please make me that.
And then you'll have to put it on your shelf behind you so we can see it for every episode recording.
I will.
Please.
I will. Yeah, my P.O. box is... you can find it on our website. Thanks.
Little did he know this holiday would become a wilderness odyssey of grit, luck, and sheer incompetence that would, against all odds, help lead to the creation of the nation's first national park. The expedition he signed up for was officially called the Washburn-Langford-Doane Expedition of 1870. It was the first professional effort to chart the unmapped northwestern quadrant of the new Wyoming Territory. The party of 19 men, including some of Montana's most respected citizens, left for Fort Ellis near present-day Bozeman on August 22, 1870. It was led by Henry D. Washburn, the Surveyor General of Montana, and included businessman Nathaniel P. Langford and a military escort under Lieutenant Gustavus Doane. Their goal was to explore the uncharted Yellowstone County as far south as Yellowstone Lake. Langford later wrote that the explorers felt if even half the tall tales about the region were true, they would be, quote, amply compensated for all the troubles and hazards of the expedition. However, the trip was not easy from the start. Just a week in, Everts got sick and had to leave the rest of the party for a few days to recover, foreshadowing what was to come. By September 8th, the expedition had ascended what is now Mount Washburn, witnessed the wonders of the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone, and explored the geothermal features around Mud Volcano. They were mesmerized by a particularly large and regular geyser, which they famously dubbed Old Faithful.
Oh, that's where it got its name.
Yeah. The next day, September 9th, the team was navigating a dense pine forest near the southern shore of Yellowstone Lake. The terrain was horrific, with large tracts of fallen timber making progress nearly impossible. So they were forced to spread out, each seeking their own path through the thick woods. Everts thought he'd found a clear path and kept going, eventually straying out of sight and sound of his companions. According to historian Whittlesey, his horse fell into a big mud hole, and that is what got him separated from the rest of the party. Separations like this had happened before, so at first he didn't think anything of it. He rode on, confident he would reconnect with everyone or find their camp. He even came across a pack horse that had gotten loose, but decided to leave it, figuring he would find the group first, then return with help to retrieve it. As darkness fell, Everts realized he was alone, but he still wasn't worried. He later wrote, "I had no doubt of being with the party at breakfast the next morning." He selected a comfortable spot, tied up his horse, built a fire, and he went to sleep. The next morning, September 10th, Everts awoke at dawn and saddled his horse. The forest was dark and thick, and the fallen pine needles had obliterated any trace of the expedition's trail. He became confused, frequently dismounting to examine the ground for the faintest sign of travel. He came to a clearing and dismounted to get a better look, but didn't tie up his horse, which had become a normal practice for him. But suddenly, there was a startling noise, and Everts turned just in time to see his horse disappearing at full speed among the trees.
Oh, no.
Along with everything that he had with him. His blankets, guns, pistols, fishing tackle, matches, food, and canteens were all gone. All he had left was the clothes on his back, binoculars, and a couple of knives.
Oh, no. Not the best position to be in, but...
It's like I'm alone and I'm watching my horse ride away with literally everything I own.
I think in the show alone, you can only bring like 10 items with you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a lot. And I think Naked and Afraid, you can only have one thing.
In what?
I think in Naked and Afraid, you can only bring one.
No way. Really?
Yeah. I think you can pick, like, people will pick a knife, pick a lighter, I think it's only one thing. I haven't seen Naked and Afraid in a long time, but I'm pretty sure it's one.
Huh. Yeah, interesting. Because I always, in the beginning of Alone, when they're selecting their gear and kind of going through their pack lists and things, I do that thing where I compare what I would have brought against these seasoned professionals that know way more than I do.
How do you measure up?
Not good, I guess. But I don't know. Some of the things I feel are definitely needed, but I would have chosen something else. And that's why I'm not on Alone and I'm watching it from my couch.
It's like you're sitting on your couch, warm with heat and a blanket and lots of food in front of you that you picked up at the grocery store. And you're like, stupid idiot.
I wouldn't have selected a I would have but never. Who am I to say?
I would have never.
Anyway. And then they always lose something. And they can never find it.
Yeah.
And then that's usually their downfall.
I'll always remember that one guy who his strategy was he didn't want to burn calories. So he was like, I'm just going to sit here all day. And he just like slept through most of his journey. He's like,
he got kind of far, didn't he?
Yeah, he almost won. He was
like, I'm going to do the hibernating bear approach.
And it kind of worked. I think he was like second or third. Like there was only like 2 or 3 people left when he tapped out.
Yeah, he gained a bunch of weight intentionally beforehand, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Also smart.
I mean, work smarter, not harder.
It's so true. He just made his thing was he just like made his house and then he's like, I'll just be here.
Wake me up when I'm a finalist.
In the spring. Yeah. So anyway, he watches all of his stuff right off into the sunset without him. But still, the full gravity of his situation didn't quite sink in. Instead of trying to find the expedition's camp, he spent half the day trying to locate his horse. It was only after this unsuccessful search that the direness of his circumstance began to really take shape. He wrote and posted several notices in an open space, hoping his friends would find them, and then set off again in the direction he thought that they had gone. As the day wore on, anxiety gave way to the terrifying prospect of another night alone, however, this time without food or a fire. That night, he barely slept, tormented by the screech of nightbirds, the bark of coyotes, the howl of gray wolves, hunger, and fear, but still clinging to the hope of rejoining the rest of the expedition the next day. The holidays are all about creating a cozy, safe home. But if you're using laundry or dishwasher pods, then hidden microplastics could be sneaking into the place and the people you care about most. That's why I've made the switch to Blue Land across all of my cleaning products, especially during the holidays when most of us spend more time cooking, hosting, and cozying up indoors. Blue Land products meet the highest standards of clean. They're effective yet gentle on people and the planet. In fact, Blue Land was named an EPA Safer Choice Partner of the Year. From cleaning sprays and toilet bowl cleaners to dishwasher and laundry detergent tablets, Blue Land formulas are 100% microplastic free, made with certified clean ingredients free from chlorine, bleach, and harsh chemicals that are safe to use around your pets. You'll love not having to choose between the safe option and what actually gets your home clean. I especially love their hand soap tablets. They come in these cozy seasonal scents like wintry pine and toasted vanilla, and they make such a perfect little gift as well. Plus, you get to reuse the same bottle instead of tossing plastic every time. Blue Land has a special offer for our listeners. Right now, get 15% off your first order by going to blueland.com/NPAD. You won't want to miss this. blueland.com/NPAD for 15% off. That's blueland.com/NPAD to get 15% off. When Everts got back to the place where he had left his notices, he found it empty. No one had come. And that's when it really hit him that he was lost. He had no food, no fire, and no way to get either of those things. He was alone in the wild, unknown wilderness, more than 100 miles from the nearest person. Wild animals were all around, and hunger gnawed at him. The feeling of being completely helpless was overwhelming. It was in this moment of utter despair that a new resolve took hold of him. He would not perish in that wilderness. This single thought, he claimed, became his mantra. He would not perish in this wilderness. It became a source of life that revived his hope and energy throughout his ordeal. While Everts was coming to terms with being lost, the rest of the Washburn Expedition was growing increasingly concerned. They had made an agreement that if anyone got separated, they would meet at the southwest arm of Yellowstone Lake. When Everts didn't show up, they began a search that would last a full week. They set signal fires at night and fired their guns into the air each day, hoping he would see or hear them. They left notes and caches of food for him along the lake. Warren Gillett, a man who was courting Everett's daughter, Bessie, stayed out all night hunting for his potential father-in-law, which, I mean, how I think of that and I'm like, what brownie points would you get if you rescued your person of interest's father in the wilderness?
Oh, you've made it.
You've made it. You're in.
Yeah. You're in. What is she going to say no to you?
It's like, you just rescued my dad. Let's get married.
Okay. Atticus, please get down.
If anyone's watching on YouTube right now, Danielle has a guest on the podcast.
My sister's dog just likes to stare very closely to me. And the more I try and push him away, the more he stays. So I just have to ignore him.
If you don't move, he can't see you.
Very, very still. See? It worked. There it is. Yeah, no, you're in. You're contractually obligated at that point to, because now she's going to look so bad if she said no.
And no guy can ever compare for your father's approval. It's like, have you saved me in the middle of the wilderness? No. It's like, my daughter can do better, and I know that for a fact.
Yeah. He's like, this is the best opportunity that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, he's like, I have to find this man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him, he was even within 4 miles of him at one point, but he just had no idea. And he never knew how close he really was. Everts, for unknown reasons, never made it to the agreed upon meeting point, and his potential son-in-law didn't find him. Everts, meanwhile, was wandering aimlessly and felt weak from hunger. He felt no cravings, just a growing sense of faintness and exhaustion that he fought off, saying aloud, "This won't do, I must find my company." Gloomy thoughts of starvation or a more violent death consumed his thoughts, but he pushed them away, focusing on his immediate needs. After days scrambling through the forest, he emerged at the foot of a peninsula to behold a magnificent sight. A broad, beautiful lake, which we now know as Heart Lake, glittered in the sun. Everts dubbed the lake Bessie Lake after his daughter. A towering peak overshadowed the lake he called Mount Everts, a name given by Washburn a few days earlier in a gesture that would become, ironically, prophetic. The landscape was teeming with life: swans, otters, deer, elk, and mountain sheep. As he sat by the shore, his spirits lifted when he saw what he thought was a canoe with a single oarsman approaching. He ran to the beach to meet his salvation, only to have his hopes crushed. An enormous pelican flapped its wings, seemingly mocking him as it flew away.
I also mistake pelicans for people in canoes, so I get it.
You're not alone, Everts. It's a common thought.
Mistake.
But just as this happened and despair had set in, he made a life-changing discovery. While looking for a place to sleep, Everts noticed a small, bright green plant. He pulled it up and found a long, tapering root, not unlike a radish. It was thistle. He tasted it and didn't immediately curl over, so he went for it. This was his first meal in 4 days. Overjoyed, he devoured the thistle and fell into a deep sleep under a tree. Everett's rest was short-lived, however. He was violently awoken by a loud, shrill scream. This was the unmistakable screech of a mountain lion at very close proximity. Everett yelled back and scrambled up the tree, climbing as high as he could for safety. When he looked down, he saw that a cat was sniffing and growling right where he had just been sleeping moments before. For what felt like hours, a terrifying standoff ensued. Everett screamed, broke branches from the tree, and hurled them down at the pacing animal. The mountain lion circled the tree, lashing its tail and growling. Then Everett tried a new tactic. He stayed completely still and quiet. He clasped the trunk of the tree and sat perfectly still. And the lion went silent too. The quiet was almost more terrifying because now he couldn't see where this mountain lion was. After what seemed like an eternity, the mountain lion gave one last scream and took off into the forest. And Everett was safe. Exhausted but alive, he climbed down and, to his own disbelief, fell asleep in the very same spot he had been sleeping before.
He's like, that was crazy.
That was a close one.
I'm so tired.
I'm exhausted. Yeah. To sleep in the exact same spot that this mountain lion was just hunting you in.
I mean, yeah, he's sleepy. What are you going to do?
He's a guy who could fall asleep anywhere.
Yeah. He is also starving, right? So he probably doesn't have a lot of energy to... I think my line of thinking would be somewhere along the lines of, what are the odds it's going to come back to this one spot?
Yeah. And even depending on the tree, it's probably pretty hard to sleep in a tree.
And I feel like I'm not really sure behavior-wise what was going on there, but mountain lions are excellent climbers. So if it really wanted to get him,
it could have.
It could have very easily. So I'm not exactly sure what was going on there, but it feels like the mountain lion was just done with him. So I feel
plot twist.
Obviously he was safe. Shut up. That's actually probably
true.
Might be very true. I'll never forget.
It was huge.
You'll never believe the size of it. The amount of posts that have been on my seemingly every page, except for when I lived in Colorado, because it feels like Coloradans are pretty well versed in what a mountain lion truly looks like. Mm-hmm. But every Facebook community page that I have ever been a part of, at least quarterly, there are pictures of what is very clearly a bobcat and people losing their minds that it's a mountain lion. And there's one I will never forget. I think I took a screenshot of it because it was so
funny,
crazy to me. Couldn't be more apparent that it was a bobcat, maybe even a house cat that had like a chopped tail.
Yeah.
And this person was so adamant that it was a mountain lion, and it was in Manchester, New Hampshire. I'm like,
it's like, this is
why we can't have nice things.
This is why we can't have mountain lions, because
it's just so embarrassing. And I know, not everyone can clearly identify wildlife, but there's a distinct difference between a bobcat and a mountain lion. And just please, they're not on Elm Street in Manchester.
Also, there's a huge size difference between them. Bobcats, I mean, they're big if you put them next to a house cat, but they're not big.
Their markings are different. Their ear shape is different. Their tails are different. Their body composition is different.
Their fur is different.
I was giving people grace and now I'm not. The more I think about it.
It's like, if you think a bobcat is a mountain lion, we need to have a serious anatomy conversation.
We need to talk. Hey, can I talk to you for a second?
It's like, come over here. I just want to talk.
Can I talk to you outside for a second?
I say that to Al whenever he's making me mad. I'm like, can I talk to you outside for a second? We'll be like in our living room.
Gets his attention real quick, though, right?
It does. He says it to me, too, though. And it's kind of just a running joke now.
Well, let's give... What is it? Everts?
Everts. Yeah.
Let's give him a little grace. For now. We'll see what
or
else
I
he
guess
does,
it's Everts.
I don't know, though. He's on thin ice with me. He thought a pelican was a person.
Yeah, so was it even there? Who knows?
We're just taking his word for it.
Which isn't reliable. So
Is
take this
real?
Entire story with a grain of salt. Did we make this up? You decide.
Please continue.
This encounter with the mountain lion was a turning point for him. It drove home the brutal reality that Everts couldn't wait around hoping to meet with the rest of the group. He had to escape on his own. But a new challenge presented itself, and that was the weather. A dreary storm of snow and rain set in, and the wind pierced the tears in his clothing. For 2 days, as the storm raged, Everts sheltered under the branches of a spruce tree. While laying there, exhausted and starving, a small bird hopped within his reach, and he grabbed it, killed it, and ate it raw. As he crunched down on the bird, he thought, what a delicious meal for a half-starved man.
I mean, yeah.
All the birders are cringing. Gotta do what you gotta do to survive. On the morning of the third day, the storm finally began to ease. Everts set his sight on the streaming hot spring near the base of Mount Everts, about 10 miles away. But before he could reach them, the storm returned with a vengeance. Cold, wet, and shivering to the bone, he pressed on until he finally stumbled onto the heated ground. There, he collapsed, letting the warmth of the earth seep into him. Thistle roots were plentiful, and a small boiling spring became his makeshift pot for cooking. For 7 days, he remained there, wrapped in a constant cloud of steam that kept him alive and warm, even as it slowly cooked him in a relentless vapor. It's like kind of sitting in a sauna and just like never leaving.
Yeah, because if you leave, it's the other extreme.
Yeah, you're in the freezing. Or you're kind of like slowly cooking yourself alive. But I thought that this was a good point to add a little fun fact, because bison also rely on Yellowstone's hot springs during the winter. So I wrote a little thing about that. So when the warmth melts the snow, exposing grasses, it actually provides crucial food, and some bison even eat the soil to get the minerals that are provided by the hot springs. The steam and heated ground create a little extra warmth, though their thick coats make it unnecessary. It is just kind of, I think it's just nicer. They don't necessarily need it, but it's kind of like a finding solace in really extreme winters that Yellowstone has. And streams fed by the thermal areas often stay ice-free, making travel easier for them. Yet these hot spots carry risks too, because thin crusts can collapse and a bison misstep could send it tumbling into scalding water.
Did you see not to bring the vibe down, but did you see that video that was circulating like a couple months ago of that wildlife photographer in Yellowstone who was filming bison, and one fell into a boiling hot spring, and just repeatedly would like struggle to get out and then slide back in and struggle to get out and slide back in until it finally cooked alive.
Oh my God, no.
Like, okay, I know that's nature doing its thing, and what are you gonna do?
And hard to watch. Yeah, how are you gonna pull a bison out of a?
And you shouldn't. You can't.
No.
But to sit there and film it for 5 minutes or more
watching its death.
Yeah. Like, okay, I got the gist of it. I don't need to see it.
I mean, it's really what happens each winter.
Yeah, I know. It's just
as it does happen.
Yeah. And that poor kid. Oh my God. I know we talked a lot about various deaths in Yellowstone in one of the very, very earliest episodes. Like I think episode like 11.
Yeah, it was.
But most recently, there was I believe he was a college student like a couple weeks ago that lost his life in one of the hot springs.
I hadn't heard
geothermal
that.
features.
I hadn't heard that, but it's so important to realize that these are not like your normal hot springs that you can jump into and bathe in. Like, they are geothermal features, and they are literally hot enough to burn you alive.
Yeah.
Cold mornings, holiday plans, layers piling up. This is when I want my wardrobe to be simple. Stuff that looks sharp, feels good, and things that I'll actually wear. For me, that's Quince. And the bonus, Quince pieces make great gifts too. This season's lineup is simple but smart and easy with Quince. They have $50 Mongolian cashmere sweaters that feel like an everyday luxury, and wool coats that are super stylish and durable. Their denim nails the fit and the everyday comfort, all at the fraction of what you'd expect to pay. I've also been really loving their athletic gear lately. Now that it's colder outside, I'm working out indoors more, and their leggings and tops have been perfect for the gym. They're soft, they move with you, and they hold up wash after wash. It's nice having pieces that can go from errands to workouts without thinking too hard about what to wear. Quince partners directly with ethical factories and top artisans, cutting out the middlemen to deliver premium quality at half the cost of other high-end brands. So you can get luxury quality pieces without the luxury price tag. Give and get timeless holiday staples this season with Quince. Go to quince.com/NPAD for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/NPAD. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/NPAD. Well, Everts reported that during this time, his mind was consumed with one thought. And although he had this warmth, what he really needed was fire. He knew he couldn't survive another storm without it, and it was his only defense against wild animals. He recalled everything he ever read about making fire, but none of those methods seemed within reach. As he considered his options, a gleam of sunshine lit up on the lake, and a thought flashed through his mind. The glass from his binoculars. He quickly dismantled it, removed a lens, and focused the sun's rays through the glass and onto a piece of dry wood. As the smoke rose and a spark ignited, he was elated because now he had both food and fire.
I have created fire.
I did it. Did you ever in elementary school take a magnifying glass and try and light things on fire?
No.
Outside? I used to do that. I remember in elementary school, I would take a magnifying glass out on the playground and I would try but I think I would try to light like the pavement on fire. So it never worked.
What?
I just wanted to see if it worked because I had heard about it in science class and I never successfully did it, thankfully, because I think starting a fire on your school playground is not,
they would have forgiven you. You would have been a child.
Yeah, but I think I would have gotten in trouble for sure.
Yeah, it's like, hey, can you not
light our school on fire, please?
Yeah.
We know you learned this in science class.
You're like, okay, I'm an arsonist in the making, and then I'm going to go home and play whatever fast car video game.
Crash Team Racing.
Yeah, Crash Team Racing.
Two sides. Everett's stay at the spring was prolonged by another mishap. While asleep one night, as we had talked about with the bison, he rolled over, broke through the thin crust of the hot spring, and severely burned his hip. This new injury, combined with his festering frostbitten feet that he had gotten from the storm, caused him nonstop pain. Everts also had another problem. He had lost both of his knives. So instead, he sharpened the tongue of a buckle from his vest to use as a substitute.
What did I say? They always lose stuff.
Always. Every time.
Where? Okay.
This is innovative, though, to use a buckle that you have on your vest and just sharpen it.
Yeah.
And you're like, he's making do for a man with no survival skills, pretty much.
No, he's doing great. He's just, you have one job, and it's to stay alive, and to do that, you need the only supplies you have. It's not like you have to keep track of a bunch of stuff.
All of your supplies. Literally all your supplies you lost.
Well, that's
and
not.
Now you just have two knives.
Yeah.
You have two knives and binoculars.
Yeah, keep track of all this stuff. It's not like your hands are full with things. Just keep the knives in your pocket. Like, keep your pants
one job. So anyway, he sharpens the tongue of the buckle to use as a substitute. And with this new tool, he cut the legs from his boots and made a pair of slippers. Then he mended his torn clothing with a thread unraveled from a handkerchief and tried to make a fish hook from a pin in his coat. So he's getting really innovative here. He's using like all these little things he has with him, and he's like, okay, how can I use this to help my survival? After a week at the springs, Everts set out again, this time with a new plan. He decided the shortest route to safety would be to cross the mountain barrier to the settlements in Madison Valley. It was a decision that he would come to regret. After a day of drudging through timber heaps and thickets, he made camp for the night, keeping his fire alive by constantly waving at it. That night, the burn on his hip was so inflamed he could only sleep sitting up. At one point, tossing and turning in his sleep, he fell forward into the fire, badly burning his hand. So his hip's burnt, now his hand's burnt, he's starving, frostbitten feet.
Okay,
he's got one hand left, basically.
I'm putting together. We've been doing this long enough that I pick up on certain things that you drop early on.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of harped on the fact that he is nearsighted.
He is nearsighted.
And relies on his glasses heavily.
He does.
And he still has those, though, right?
He does.
Okay.
Despite his injuries, Everts continued on, eventually finding a camp last occupied by the rest of the expedition. He found no and no food. But he did find a dinner fork, which proved invaluable for digging roots, and a yeast powder can that he used as a cup and dining pot. It was here that a bit of anger set in. He couldn't believe they forgot to leave him any food. But he never considered they might have cached it in spots that he had already passed. As it turned out, the expedition had left food for him right on the beach where he found the fork and can, but he just happened to never find it.
Ugh.
That night, he built a shelter of pine to protect himself from the wind. Later, he woke to the sound of cackling flames. His shelter and the adjacent forest had caught fire while he was sleeping. He escaped with his life, but his hair was singed off. He also lost his precious buckle-tongue knife and his fish hook. So his hair is burnt.
That was hair.
His hand is burnt, his hip is burnt, and his feet are frostbitten.
And he's probably significantly underweight. I don't know how much time has passed.
He's starving. Track. He is starving as well. So he's in rough shape.
Yeah.
After the fire, he abandoned the search for a trail and aimed for the lowest notch in the Madison Range. But when he finally reached the base of the mountains, his heart sank. It was an endless succession of inaccessible peaks and precipices. Scaling them was clearly impossible. It was at this moment of deep despair that Everts experienced the first of many hallucinations. An old clerical friend suddenly appeared before him and advised him to turn back. It said, "Go back immediately. There is no food, and the idea of scaling these rocks is madness." Everts argued, but the apparition insisted it was his only chance. Delighted with the idea of a traveling companion, Everts turned back, plotting a course down the Yellowstone River.
Oh, third man factor.
That's what I thought of immediately. I'm like, he's experiencing the third man factor for sure.
God, that
and
was
if you
one of
guys
my
don't know what that is, Danielle
episodes.
Covered it. Do you remember what number it was?
No, I don't. I remember I wrote it when I lived in Evergreen.
I think it's called the third man factor, right?
No, I remember I titled it Spirit or Science, the Third Man Factor or something like that. Spirit or Science. Episode 146.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested more in what this phenomenon is, Danielle did a really cool episode on it and really dives into it. So he's experiencing this hallucination, third man factor, that's kind of helping him out. He's stoked. He has a friend, even if it's not real. And his trek became a blur of days and nights. Everts lost all sense of time. And even though he was starving, he felt little hunger or pain. His waking hours were a struggle, but his sleep was filled with luxurious dreams of feasting at the finest restaurants in New York and Washington. It's like you're laying out in the wilderness just dreaming of
the best meal you ever had.
The best meal ever.
What would yours be? What would you dream about?
What would I dream about? I feel like I would dream about desserts.
Okay.
Like one of those dense, flourless chocolate cakes.
Yeah.
With like the molten lava, or like the molten lava chocolate cakes with the warm, fudgy, like.
You know who does that so good? That's like so underrated. It's not the best of New York or whatever you just said. Domino's does an amazing molten lava cake.
I didn't even know they did that.
Oh my God.
I just know their cheesy bread, which I would maybe also dream about.
I've had their cheesy bread from time to time, but the molten lava cakes are where it's at for Domino's.
Interesting. I didn't even know that that was an option.
Fun fact, in college, my mom, like we still had a joint account or something, or she had like admin access to my, I don't know what. She was helping fund my life, of course, when early on in college. And she looked at my account, and I don't know if she was being fresh or if she really thought that something was wrong. But she was like, hey, I'm not sure like if someone took your card or if there's something going on, but there's so many Domino's charges. Like,
it's like, why are you eating molten lava cakes and Domino's every day?
It was I was addicted to the buffalo chicken sandwiches and molten lava cakes. That was like what I lived on. And
like,
she's like,
that's how I survived college.
Somebody took your card and is solely spending money at Domino's. I think it was her way of just being like,
please stop
fucking doing that.
It's like, this couldn't be you. This is ridiculous. Like, yeah, totally, Mom.
Yeah, no, someone totally took that card.
Yeah. I found it, though, so you don't have to.
Don't cancel it.
Don't cancel it. I found it.
Yeah.
Right, so anyway. But it wasn't me.
Shout out. Oh, I haven't had them in so long. Maybe I'll have one tonight.
Do you have a Domino's near you?
I do. I think I do.
Do it. Send me a picture.
No, I'll have one delivered to you because you need to experience it for yourself.
Domino's does not deliver here, so you're going to have to like overnight it via UPS or something.
No, it won't be as good. It's got to be.
When I visit, we can do it. We can do a girls' night sometime, and we'll get Domino's.
And they come with two, so it's perfect. Like, you can have one, I'll have one.
Perfect.
Wow, now I'm dreaming of.
It's like we're not even starting, and we're dreaming as well. Yeah. Oh, well, this grand scenery that he had been in that had once filled him with awe now really, truly felt like it could be his demise. His thoughts turned to his daughter and the divine protection he felt that was guiding him through the trails. His hallucinations became more frequent and complex. His own arms, legs, and stomach transformed into traveling companions he would converse with for hours. His stomach was particularly troublesome, constantly registering its complaints about the thistle root diet. Imagine your like burnt hand gets a face and is talking to you.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time. What is thistle root? Do you know?
Thistle root is
I'm picturing chives. I know that's wrong.
It's more like how it said it was more like beets. Like similar when you pull them up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I see. I'm looking up a little bit here. Interesting. I would never think to eat this, but again,
desperation.
I mean, it looks like it's people garden them.
It's just funny to me that he found this one thing and then like hasn't tried anything else.
Well, I guess don't.
I'm not saying to stop eating that, but like nothing.
Well, he knows
else.
It works. He probably doesn't have knowledge about anything else. He doesn't want to risk getting sick. He knows that this is like doing the job.
But even in the lake, like he didn't try to fish.
Well, he did with the fish hook.
That's true. That's true. He does have the fish hook.
Well,
I'm giving him shit. He did. He lost it. If you're like me, instead of learning to skateboard, you wish you were learning to write code. Instead of scraping through college, you wish you bought Bitcoin at less than a cent or snagged a few adventure stocks before they boomed. We are definitely the FOMO generation, and while we're out planning the next hike or weekend escape into the woods, there's one thing that we really shouldn't miss out on: protecting our future. For around the same price per month as one of your streaming services, you can secure your future by finding life insurance at SelectQuote.com. If you're new to life insurance, you're not alone. Thankfully, I've found SelectQuote. For over 40 years, SelectQuote has helped more than 2 million Americans understand their options and get the coverage they need. Over $700 billion in coverage and counting. As a broker, their mission is simple: to find you the right insurance policy at the best price. SelectQuote takes the guesswork out of it. You don't have to navigate dozens of confusing choices on your own. Instead, one of their licensed agents will compare plans from trusted, top-rated insurance companies to find a policy that fits your health, your lifestyle, and your budget. And they work for you for free. They also work with providers who can offer same-day coverage up to $2 million worth with no medical exam required. And if you have pre-existing health conditions like high blood pressure or diabetes, there are policies for you too. Life insurance is never cheaper than it is today. And if you're someone who loves being outside, traveling, or exploring, having a safety net for the people you love gives you one less thing to worry about while you're off living your life. SelectQuote makes it simple, even if this is your first time thinking about it. Life insurance is never cheaper than it is today. Get the right life insurance for you for less and save more than 50% at SelectQuote.com/NPAD. Save more than 50% on term life insurance at SelectQuote.com/NPAD today to get started. That's SelectQuote.com/NPAD. Going back to his story, when Everts came across a warm spring swarming with minnows, going into his food sources,
okay.
He caught some and ate them raw. Luckily, he immediately vomited them up, saving him from what would have been a painful death from mineral poisoning. Everts wandered on, a walking skeleton, his skin clinging to his bones. When he passed Tower Falls, he found a hollow tree he recognized as a bear's den. Somehow, he saw it as inviting as a couch, built a circle of fire around it, and he slept there like a baby. It's like, perfect, a bear den.
Couldn't be more. What could go wrong?
Everts finally left the forest for the open country. One morning after a snowfall, he completely lost his bearings, and he eventually found the river again and set out one last time, his supply of thistles dangerously low. A few days later, while ascending a steep hill, Everts collapsed from exhaustion. He slept for an unknown amount of time before scrambling to his feet and continuing on. That night, as he gathered wood for a fire, he made a horrifying discovery. His glass lens to start the fire was gone. He felt that his only chance of survival had been lost. He lay down by the woodpile, convinced his struggle was over. But as calmness returned, he summoned his memory and concluded he must have lost it where he had collapsed earlier that day. He staggered back 5 long miles through the darkness and in the morning found the lens right where he had slept. It was, he said, the most joyful moment of his entire journey. The next day, another storm set in. Everts was convinced he had to keep moving, so he snatched a lighted branch from his fire and stumbled on. But that afternoon, while gathering sticks, the branch went out. As the clouds blocked the sun, he sat down with his lens and his last piece of wood, his life depending on a single gleam of sunshine. A moment passed, the cloud moved, and with trembling hands, he lit a fire. When he woke up, a raw, gusty wind penetrated his bones, and a coldness unlike anything he had ever experienced overcame him. He stumbled blindly on, knowing death was knocking on his door. Just then, a thought flashed across his mind. "I will be saved. Struggle on," came an encouraging whisper. Groping along the side of a hill, he saw a sharp reflection of polished steel. He looked up through half-closed eyes to see two inviting faces. "Are you Mr. Everts?" one of them asked. "Yes, all that's left of him," he replied, and fell forward into the arms of his rescuers, unconscious.
It's like, no.
No, wrong guy. Keep on moving. Imagine, it's like, no, and he's like clearly emaciated, burnt. And it's like, oh, never mind then.
It's like, okay, sorry to bother you.
John Yellowstone Jack Barrett and George A. Pritchett were two mountain men who had set out in search of Everts after his friends in Helena offered a $600 reward for his recovery. They found him on October 16th, 37 days after he'd gone missing, more than 50 miles from where he had gotten lost. This man with absolutely nothing survived for 37 days.
That's incredible. I know we've been giving him a lot of crap, but that is such an accomplishment. Yeah.
Like we said at the beginning, 5 days.
Tops.
Count me out. 37 for this man. That's incredible.
In some of the harshest landscapes around, it's no easy thing. So
the men had actually been tracking what they thought was a wounded bear. Barnett later recounted, "When I got near it, I found it was not a bear, and for my life could not tell what it was. It did not look like any animal that I had ever seen, and it was certainly not a human being." Everts was a horrifying sight. Delirious and crawling on his hands and knees, his clothing was in shreds, he had no shoes, and the balls of his frostbitten feet were worn down to the bone.
Oh my God.
On top of that, he weighed about 50 pounds.
No. 50 pounds?
That's the weight of a small child. He was literally skin and bones at this point. Barnett and Pritchett nursed him back to health. They moved him to a miner's cabin where he was given a bed and broth made from freshly killed game. His recovery was complicated by the fact that the fibrous thistles had turned into a solid mass in his stomach, and he was in excruciating agony. A passing hunter provided an unlikely cure, a pint of rendered bear oil, which acted as a powerful laxative. The next day, Everts was pain-free and on the path to recovery. It must have been such a rough night.
I don't even want to imagine what that was like.
Spilling your guts out, quite literally. Ugh, poor guy. After his rescue, Everts was given a gala banquet at the fanciest restaurant in Helena. The kind of food he'd only dreamed of in his feverish hallucinations was overflowing. However, Everts' gratitude wasn't as overflowing as the food he was given. When he was told about the $600 reward offered for his recovery, Everts refused to pay, claiming he could have made it out of the wilderness on his own.
Honey, no.
Please, you were 50 pounds and you were lost when you were found.
You had bones for feet.
You weren't gonna make it. You did good. You did great. You made it 37 days, but you weren't going to find your way out in time.
That thistle thing in your stomach?
Yeah.
No.
You weren't gonna do it. His rescuers never saw a cent of the money, and Jack Barnett later said, quote, "He wished he had let the son of a gun roam."
Oh. Okay, that's harsh. Well, hold on a minute. So somebody else said that he would pay
his friends
$600.
His friends offered, but I think when he was found, his friends were like, all right, you can cover that. They saved you.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't ask. Yeah, that's unfair.
It is a little unfair.
I think that's unfair.
But also, I mean, it sounds like from everything that he was pretty wealthy and could have paid it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, there's also that. I don't know how to feel about this guy, I guess.
Well, maybe the next thing will help you a little bit. Mount Everts, the peak that overlooks Mammoth Hot Springs, was named in his honor by expedition leader Henry Washburn. But Everts wasn't pleased. He preferred to be memorialized by the more majestic peak he had climbed near the south arm of Yellowstone Lake, now known as Mount Sheridan. He even petitioned for a name change, but was denied.
Okay, I'm swaying into the dislike category.
Yeah, it's like you're getting a mountain named after you, which I didn't look this up, but I would bet almost anything has an indigenous name.
Right.
That you are taking. And you're getting this name because you survived for 37 days and they picked this beautiful mountain and you're like, that one's not good enough.
Yeah, it just feels a little ungrateful.
For sure. Ungrateful vibes for sure. I mean, you survived 37 days. That's amazing. And you made it. But
here's a scala full of food.
Yeah, here's a gala. And
of the Domino's lava cakes that you could ever wish for.
Not good enough.
No.
News of Everts' improbable survival became a national sensation. His first-hand account of the ordeal, 37 Days of Peril, was published in Scribner's Monthly and captivated the country. Combined with a national lecture tour by his expedition companion, Nathaniel Langford, the story of Everts' survival lent great publicity and support to the growing movement to establish a national park at Yellowstone. And in 1872, Congress created what many call the world's first national park. In 1872, Everts was offered the first superintendent job at the newly created Yellowstone National Park, but he turned it down because there was no pay, which is valid, but I also feel like he probably didn't want to go back.
Yeah. He's like, I've had enough.
He's like,
Thank you for the offer, but I'm going to pass. Wasn't he a tax collector? What is he doing being a superintendent?
Yeah, he had no experience. I feel like they were just giving it to him because he survived there for so long. And
it was more of like a honorary position or something.
It seems that way.
Well, either way, he didn't take it, so I guess.
Yeah. The job instead went to Langford, and in a final quirky twist, the thistle on which he survived on is now known as Everts thistle, but it's spelt incorrectly because it's Everts thistle, but his name is Everts. So it's EVERT''S instead of S''. A misspelling that is oddly fitting to a man whose story is super messy, but also a man who wasn't appreciative of anything else named after him. The final thing was misspelt in his honor. So close.
He almost had it.
Everts left the frontier and moved back east, settling into a quiet life with the U.S. Post Office. He eventually remarried and fathered a child. And this probably is the last solidifying thing that we probably don't love Everts. But he fathered a child with his 14-year-old wife when he was in his 70s. So if you needed one last reason to not love Everts.
I'll give you your accolades for surviving, and that's it.
Yeah.
God, that is so disgusting.
I know people say, like, it was of the time. And it's like, no, it's disgusting.
It's still a 70-year-old person and
with a child. Like, it's always been disgusting. We just didn't talk about it then.
Oh, my God. Women or children just suffered in silence.
Yeah. And it was just, like, considered the time.
Oh, God. Wow.
So anyway, he dies in Maryland. Finally. He dies in 1901 at the age of 85, having outlived the perils of Yellowstone by more than 30 years.
Wow. What a story.
Such an interesting story. And I feel like it's one that's not, I mean, it's not untold. Of course, there's books and people write about it, but I feel like it's one of the lesser talked about survival stories.
Well, it feels I feel almost as if a lot of the survival stories we tell are of people who have put themselves out there in situations like they were already camping or on an excursion or doing this thing, and they were prepared in some way and then got injured or lost from there and at least had some sort of preparation. This guy, it just feels like he just accidentally wound up there and had to figure it out.
Yeah, like he was on an expedition, but it seems like he was probably there heavily relying on the expertise of other people and then got separated.
Yeah, and then was like, oh shoot.
It's like,
now
what do
I
I
have to figure
do?
this out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, kudos to him for it really is a story that shows that humans are just programmed to survive and will figure it out in any way that they can. It doesn't matter.
Resilient.
Yeah, and resilience and just innovation and just getting it done in any way that they can. And I truly don't think he would have made it that much longer. So, but it's great that he had faith in himself. I mean, it just goes to show like the lengths that men will be like, oh no, I could have done that. I could do that.
It's like I was fine. It's like, you were 50 pounds, sir, and you didn't have skin on your feet anymore. It did, when I read that part, though, it did remind me of the story I just covered recently where the little boy was in a plane crash and he had to get off the mountain and his hands were so frostbitten that it was down to his bone. And he just didn't even really notice or care in the moment because he was in such a survival mode.
Yeah.
And it was a little reminiscent of that where it's like, yeah, that had happened, but like I mentioned throughout the story, he wasn't feeling or paying attention to the pain for the most part. He was just, I think his body was just too tired to feel it maybe, and he was just so trying to survive that it just didn't matter until.
Yeah, but I mean, this guy had the gift of retrospect, and when he's healthy and back in
when
society,
he's back and he's like, I would have survived. Like, sir.
Come on. Yeah.
Just say thank you.
Just say thank you and move on and accept the mountain you've been given. And
37 days is an incredible feat. It's fine that you didn't make it out on your own. You did make it to a spot where someone could find you.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, it's a cool story and I'm glad that you told it because I love Yellowstone history so much. And it's interesting to hear a historic survival story because I think it's hard because a lot of them aren't well documented or we just get fragments and bits and pieces of them. And I think most of the survival stories you've told have been relatively more recent. So this one was fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you everyone for hanging out and listening to us talk again. For however many weeks this has been. 4 years worth.
And we'll see you during our next episode. In the meantime,
enjoy the view.
But watch your back.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us again this week. If you love National Park After Dark and want to hear exclusive bonus stories, join us on Patreon or Apple subscriptions. Patreon subscribers have access to our National Park After Dark book club, live streams, Discord, and much more. If you prefer to watch our episodes, video episodes are now available on YouTube. If you're enjoying the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite listening platform. And to follow along with all our adventures, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X at National Park After Dark.